Yo, what's going on, y'all? We got a Swag Ranger football. Got another video from him. This one is Kyler Murray flipped out on national TV. I know this was last week at this point, but why not react to it? You know what I'm saying? I want to read too deep into the situation, but I feel like him telling the coach to calm down kind of says a lot. I feel like the coach should be, the most calmest person, the most even killed person, because you're the leader of the team, if not the coach, the quarterback for sure. But I feel like the quarterback should be the extension of the coach, and it's kind of a red flag. I mean, we've been seeing a lot with the Cardinals. Seeing that their offense has not been the best or living up to the potential it should be. I feel like I said they've been explosive for the past few years. I think if that wasn't last year or 2 years ago where they won like, I don't know, such and such games in a row, like double digit games in a row, or they finished with like 12 wins. But it still seemed at the times that their offense was lackluster. It seemed at the times they spammed DeAndre Hopkins. They would overly use screens. It seemed like they would just be repetitive in play calling, So they could definitely use some versatility. And with Kliff, being highlighted as a offensive minded coach, I thought I would expect to see more. But well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how everything plays out. And just I'm gonna see his thoughts on this, and then I'll give mine as we go, as the video goes on. So
I don't think there's any doubt that Kyler Murray is a fantastic athlete and a great quarterback. His elite rushing game and his above average quarterback play make him one of the league's best dual threat quarterbacks. But in his 3 years in the NFL, he's yet to have one playoff win, and his team is always just mediocre. And I think that's in large part due to the fact that he has just not been a leader for his team. But Thursday night's game against the Saints showed us a side of Kyler Murray that we've never seen before. And I think this is the turning point in his career where he starts to be a true leader for his team.
I feel like from the mental aspect, they got to be one of the two. So that was the issue. Or could you be miscommunication when it comes to the coach and Kyler?
What's up, guys? It's Ant here. And finally, we got to watch a Thursday night game that actually featured some offense, and we got 76 total points scored. Thursday night's matchup between the Cardinals and the Saints wasn't really expected to be as good of a game as we got. The game was pretty even for most of the first
Those two pick sixes were crazy.
Featured 2 pick sixes from Andy Dalton in less than 2 minutes, and that's really where the game started to change. The Saints had to play from behind for all of the second half, where we got to see a dominant performance from DeAndre Hopkins in his return, where he posted 10 receptions for 103 yards. But one thing
That's
that really
D-Hop,
stood
though.
out to me this game was the interaction that took place between Kyler Murray and his head coach, Kliff Kingsbury.
And Murray barking his way over to the sideline.
Murray had a lot of that energy last week
He did.
against Seattle, where he would be frustrated. You can see it right there.
Yep.
I think that's the buildup of a number of weeks.
No
This
question.
offense has been struggling.
Now, it's pretty unusual for a quarterback to be yelling like this to his head coach and telling him to calm the fuck down. It's usually the head coach telling his quarterback this, and not the other way around.
That's what I
It
said.
resulted in a touchdown, so I guess it worked out. And it might be just me, but I think Kyler Murray was a little bit too mad here. They tried clearing this up in the post-game presser, but it was pretty clear that they were lying, and I don't really think anyone bought it.
Didn't look good on TV, acting that fiery. So he said, I don't know, I guess it's a Gen Z thing. You're on TV, so calm down. I'm like, I like showing emotion.
He's real animated over there on the sideline sometimes. So it's always, it's never, calm down. We're good. We're going to make it right. We ended up scoring, so that was good. But, yeah, that's all I was saying. Just chill out.
Kyler Murray has never been fully trusted by his head coach, who's supposed to be some kind of quarterback whisperer. And I think he just finally wants to do his own thing without Kliff Kingsbury constantly in his ear. Whether it's the video games or not watching film, Kyler Murray is always criticized for not being able to focus up on football during the season. I'm sure you guys all know that when Kyler Murray was first extended, his original contract included a clause that required him to do independent study on material that was given to him by the club. This basically means that the Cardinals would give him film to watch, and he was required to watch 4 hours of that film a week. Kyler has said on multiple occasions that he really doesn't like watching film, and he thinks he was blessed with the cognitive skills to just go out there and just see it before it happens. Putting clauses in
I'm not one of the guys who's gonna sit there and kill myself watching film. I'll sit there for 24 hours and break down this team and that team and watch every game because in my head I see so much. I think I was blessed with cognitive skills to just go out there and just see it before it happens. I feel like as a quarterback, that's where you got to watch the most film. Like quarterbacks and middle linebackers. I feel like that's two positions you have to watch the most film. I don't know if I like that take, to each his own, but just from an outside looking in perspective, I feel like, those two positions, quarterback and, maybe even center. You could probably argue center too. That's an important position. But, because there's a lot that you got to look out for, like as the main guy on that side of the ball, who has the ball in their hands every single play. It's a lot you got to look out for, tendencies from specific players. The list goes on and on, man, honestly.
Players' contracts isn't unusual, but forcing a player to study and watch film outside of team meetings is definitely a first, and it makes Kyler Murray look bad for not caring enough to watch film. But more importantly, the Cardinals just signed him to a 5-year, $230 million contract, making him the third highest paid quarterback in the league behind Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson, and they can't even trust him enough to watch film on his own. The clause only brought so much media attention to the Cardinals, and it would end up only being a distraction for them. So they ultimately decided to take it out of the contract. But why was it even there in the first place? Well, after a very impressive rookie campaign and winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, Kyler has only been steadily improving since then. So clearly whatever he's doing is working, right? Well, not really actually. Last year, Kyler Murray led the Cardinals to an impressive start with a 7-0 record until their streak was ended by the Packers in Week 8.
That's what it was, 7-0.
He would be out for 3 weeks with an ankle injury, and he was only able to win 2 more games in the rest of his 6 starts. The Cardinals still clinched the playoffs and the 5 seed with an 11-6 record. They were set to face off in the wildcard round against the Los Angeles Rams, who were all in on winning a Super Bowl, and they had a really stacked roster. And I think this game is where the narrative that Kyler Murray doesn't really care about football all started. This was the Cardinals' first playoff appearance in 6 years against a division rival, so Kyler Murray had the weight of the world on his shoulders, but unfortunately that was too much for him to carry. Kyler Murray's performance was atrocious. He was 19 for 34 with 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, including this horrible pick 6.
That was wild. I remember that. I do remember that.
Out of any sacks. But what makes this performance even worse,
I feel like that play was going a little too long. I ain't trying to get copyrighted.
Not trying to fire up any of his teammates. So I think this game is a huge reason as to why the independent study clause was put into Kyler's contract in the first place. In an interview after the contract was signed, Kyler said it was disrespectful that the clause was even there in the first place. So with all the criticism that he's been getting from not only the media, but his own head coach and front office, there's no way he's not frustrated with how the way things have been going. In Kyler's eyes, he's doing everything he can to help his team win games, and he's not wrong, and his stats show that. So I think the argument between him and Kliff Kingsbury all stem from everyone pointing the...
Again, my perspective, I feel like, having that clause in there isn't bad. It's like, if they feel like you're not watching enough film, hey, Kyler, we feel like this will help us as a team. If you would just take 4 hours out of your entire week to watch film, I don't think that's a big ask. How many hours in a week? Hey Siri, how many hours are in a week? 168. 4 hours out the week. You do an hour a day, roughly, or do all 4 in one day. I see where he says I feel it's disrespectful, but I think he's taking it as disrespect. It's like, hey, we feel like, how you take it? We feel like this could be this would help us as a team. We feel like this could benefit you. He takes it like, oh yeah, I feel like it's like, hey, it's like somebody saying, hey, your shoe's untied. And you saying, you think I'm dumb? You think I can't tie my own shoe? I was just telling you your shoe's untied. I'm just trying to help you. That's how I feel like that is. You're taking it in a way where it's not. I don't think it needs to be taken. Just my opinion.
The finger at Kyler and never holding Kliff Kingsbury accountable for the offensive struggles. The conversation of if Kliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray can get along with each other has been around for weeks, and there has to have been some problems in the locker room prior to this that led up to an argument that was this heated. But no matter how much they don't get along and how mad Kyler was, nothing ever warrants yelling and cursing at your head coach, especially during a primetime game. We see how mad Tom Brady gets almost every week at this point, but in all of his years of playing, he's never once yelled at Belichick or even cursed at him. And I think Kyler Murray needs to learn that he has to respect his coach no matter what. But there are some positive things that came out of this. Kyler Murray is known for barely showing any emotion when he plays, and this is probably the most fired up I've ever seen him. You could be the most talented quarterback in the world and playing your best football possible, but if you don't care about winning games and how your team is doing, you're just not going to be able to win when it matters. It was nice to see that Kyler actually cares about winning, and I think that's going to really help them down the road. As a team, if you don't see your quarterback leading the team and getting emotional during games because he wants to win so bad, it's really hard to feel like your team has a true leader on it that will be able to pick them up.
I mean, we'll see how it plays out. It could be good, it could be bad. We don't know.
When they played the Rams in the wild card round,
you don't know the story until it's over.
To help their offense play like it usually does and score a bunch of points. In my opinion, this is one of the main differences between good and great quarterbacks. If Kyler Murray keeps playing like this and keeps this emotion up throughout the rest of the season, then I think the Cardinals can actually be playoff contenders in an NFC that's really weak this year. I really hope that Kyler keeps this level.
Why is it some players don't wear knee pads? I ain't gonna lie.
And this is one of the main things that's holding him back. But I don't know. I could be wrong about this whole situation. I mean, we've all had work interfere with the
Is it mobility?
Call of Duty before, and we know how that feels. But let me know what you guys think of this situation. Are Kyler and Kliff ever going to be able to get along? And are the Cardinals going to be able to turn their season around with D-Hop back and make a playoff appearance? But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
Shout out to you, Gym Live. Oh, Gym Live, my bad. Swag Ranger, my bad. I just watched the Gym Live video before this, but shout out to Swag Ranger. Good vid, man. Yeah, man, I don't know. It could be we looking too deep into it, and it could be, there are some things here to be worried about. But again, you don't know how the story plays out until it's over with. So, having D-Hop back is going to be huge for them. Implementing Robbie Anderson into this offense is going to be huge for them. Rondale Moore getting more targets, huge for them. Zach Ertz reliable. James Conner back will be helpful, but I ain't gonna lie, Eno Benjamin and what's our buddy name? Keontae Ingram played nice last week. I gotta give it to them. They look like a nice duo. So I wouldn't even rush James Conner back, to be honest. But of course, a healthy James Conner is good for them. But they just gotta get it right, man. I don't know what it is. You have to figure it out though. But y'all let me know your thoughts if you are a Cardinals fan or you feel like you have a better take or analysis on this than I do. And I appreciate your insight. So hit that like button for me, comment down below, subscribe, stay tuned, stay blessed.